Hi there, my name is Kat Kavanaugh and I want to show you around the Water Rangers website. When you come to waterrangers.ca, you'll arrive at our sort of landing page with some information about what we're doing. And we're just going to go straight to the map and jump right in. So we just hit go to the map. And here we are. We can see the map here. And each of these little points, the numbers represent the number of locations. So in this case, there's 122 locations. And if I click on that shape, it zooms into that 122. And then I could zoom in further. And then you can see these individual points. Now this is my cottage up in Val-des-Monts. And obviously we're very much based around the Ottawa area and the Rideau Valley, and you have each of these little points that you can go and explore. Now, sometimes you can't see your body of water. It's not a problem. We've got different map layers, so you can go to the Nat Geo layer, and it actually changes how the map looks. So you can see that it's just a little bit different look to it. My personal preference for our area is the outdoor. I find that I can see the most stuff. So you can explore everything without logging in. This is Lac Meglachie. This is our deepest point. And if I have new information to put on here, I can either add an observation or report an issue. But right now, I'm just going to view the summary because I want to view the data that's there. You get a nice preview here at the top. And then we can see stuff like all the water quality testing that we've done. And you can hover over those and you can see the individual dates that those measurements were taken. And this one's cool because you can see it's from 2003 until 2016, and you can see the phosphorus levels. Now you're saying, oh, I don't really understand what these are. What is conductivity? And what we have is these little question marks everywhere, and you can click on them and you can learn about what conductivity is. And for example, when conductivity is over 500, fish start to find it hard to reproduce. Drinking water is safe up to about 700, but we have a safe level of 500 for our graph so that you can start seeing that. So whenever we just want to go back to the map, we can go here and it brings you back to where you are. And at this point, we have near the stream. So we're going to view the summary here. We can see that we have observations, issues, and we have one issue. And then we have some nice photos, and then we have some ice on and ice off events. And that's just to record when we're tracking ice. It's not for every day, so don't put ice on, ice off all the time. What this is it's once a year. It's a specific vantage point and considering it on and off. And again, we've got lots of explanation for you for those things. We also ask you to tag if you see any animals of note. Not every animal you see, but for example, if I'm taking a picture of a frog, I want to note down in that observation that I've seen a frog. In this location, we also have one issue, and you can see there's a list of issues here. This one is resolved, so we're just going to view the full report. So one of the problems we have on our lake is when it rains, the sand washes off the road and into the water. And what we do is we record a water quality issue, and we report it to in this case, it's to the Water Rangers team, and it's by me. And then when the sand disappeared, it was no longer causing any clarity issues, I marked it as resolved. Now, what can happen is when you report it to a group, they have sort of control to change these statuses too. So only you, as the creator of it, and the group you report it to can change the status. Now, the other cool thing that we have is these groups. So, for example, we already talked about the Water Rangers Explorer team, and you can click on there and you can view the profile of that group. and you can see what their testing protocols are. You can see who the members of that group are, and you can see all the locations. This is switching into more of a map view, so that's going to be changing very shortly. You can view all the groups by going to groups here. And you can see River Watcher, we've got some people down in Alabama, yeah, and Magog, and Rideau Valley Conservation Authority and Mississippi Valley Conservation Authority. We're going to be looking at rebuilding some of these pages to be easier to navigate, but for now you can look through. So you've had a look around, you noticed something, and you're like, oh, I want to add in my own observation now. So say we wanted to do it here. You can't add an observation unless you're signed in. So if we hit add observation, it asks me to sign in. Now, if you haven't signed in before, you have to sign up. And there's a little button below. So there's 3 ways you can sign up. You can use it like a third-party login with Google or Facebook, and we don't store any of your password information. We just use it as a way to authenticate you. Or you can fill out this short form. Now, if you fill out this short form, then you will need to do an email confirmation. So let's just do a quick test one. I'm going to do one for my dog Phoebe Kalama, and I will just put an email in. Now it's a 8-character minimum. You have to agree to our terms of service and privacy policy, and then we ask you to hit I am not a robot. Sometimes it'll ask you to do a simple test like click on all the pictures of the dogs. And what it is we're just trying to make sure that we don't get bots and hackers filling our app up with bad data. That's what that's for. So I hit sign up. Now what we have to do is we actually now have to go to our email. And you'll be able, I'll bring my email over here. So I got an email here, welcome, just one more step. I'm going to confirm my account. There you go. Okay, and that's it. And then we can log in as that. What was it? 5. So I'm signed in now, so I can add an observation. But before I do that, I'm going to join. If you are actually already part of a group, you'll want to join that group before you start doing observations, so that you can associate those observations with your group. For this, we are doing the Ocean Explorers team. People that are going to the ocean and taking observations there. I'm going to request to join this group. So it gets sent. We're going to go back to our email. And what we do is we send you, so this is Phoebe, we let you know that there's been a request sent out. We ask that the admin is the person that approves you being part of that group. So I'm also the admin. So I want to accept her to go there. So I'm going to have to log out just a second. So let's do that. So if you're a group admin, my official one is with Facebook because I find it super easy on my phone and whatnot to log in that way. And I'm going to go to my profile. You can see all the groups that I'm associated with. I'm very popular. And if you're a group admin, or if you'd like to be a group admin, you need to get in contact with us and we will set you up with a group. And make you the admin. And when you're the admin, you have all these things that you can edit, contact details, group photos, and then we can see that we have our admin members and then just our regular members, and then we have our pending members. So I'm going to accept Phoebe. Okay, and now she's there. And you can see there's Phoebe. Okay, I'm just going to log out now, back in as Phoebe. So now that be able to sign in again. You don't have to sign in and sign out, but because I had to, oops, password in, didn't I? There we go. Okay, so look at my profile. I'm associated with this group. So back to the map. So you can, if you're not associated with a group right away, don't worry. Once you are associated, you can go back and edit your old observations. Okay, so I am going to add an observation here at the shore. And look, it has my team right there. It's my team, so I want to associate it with that. And we have this nice little calendar you can use, and you can go back in time. Can't go forward in time. We don't do observations in the future. But you could say we did one last week on Monday, and you can click here, and it was at 8:30 a.m. And then when you're done that, you just click off. And then we have these various categories. We have wildlife, and you can click and see those. And again, you've got these little things that you can view. We got invasive species, and these are the invasive species that are common to Ontario and in near freshwater. We haven't put any ocean invasives in yet. So if you do spot one, just hit other invasive and put it in your notes. Now, if you got some testing equipment, you can go to water quality tests. Now, all these attributes you won't be able to fill out. Some of them are specifically for lab tests. So we don't do lab tests all the time, but there's lots of things that we can do without lab tests. Most common ones are things like pH, water temperature, air temperature. And if you have one of our kits for freshwater, we do conductivity. Sometimes we do alkalinity and hardness. And then we also have, for ocean water, we have salinity. And you can see the details about that and how to measure it. And there's me using my refractometer, showing you how to use it. And then you may have a Secchi disc, which is these things, and you lower it down, and it can tell you a lot about how much sediment's in the water. And then the last thing is ice on and off the water, and you can hit it on and off. So only use this if you are in a place that gets full ice coverage. We can also add in images. So I can put, I'm just going to do a test one. I'm going to delete it after, don't worry. So test kit, you can put a caption. I'm going to add a second image. So you can add multiple images and then you decide, oh, I don't want that one. That's okay. So we're just going to enter in for fun. The water temperature was 25. pH was 7.5. Air temperature was 32. And this is in degrees Celsius. And the conductivity was 110. And the Secchi depth was 8 meters. Our lake is very clear. And then finally we'll add some I'm going to add some wildlife. We always get to see some amphibians, some frogs, and then I'm going to add some notes that we saw a leopard frog. No big weather storms. I always like to record weather because it has a really big factor on water quality. I'm going to submit that. And what it creates is an observation report for that day. So we got the date and the time and who it's by and who it's associated with. And you can edit that observation right from there. Now, what happens, or the cool thing that we do, is we create little charts. So this is on the location summary. So we'll go back over there and you'll be able to see that our last observation was the first, and it adds it right onto the graph. Now, if you want to go back to those individual reports, you can click on based on 17 observations right here. And then you can see the whole list, and then you can easily go to one of those one of those summaries. And you could only edit the observations that you wrote yourself. So you can see Kat Kavanaugh, that's me, but logged in as something else. Did a lot of these other tests. And say I want to view this one here. I saw some lakes, I got a nice picture, and I took some tests. And then back to the summary. So that's a basic overview. Oh, and yeah, you can see back on your profile, once you've done an observation, it makes this little panel so that you have like a quick reference. And that is basically the whole thing. The whole thing is get out there, explore water, and learn about areas around you. And as you can see, we've got a nice little pocket down in Mobile, Alabama, and they're doing some school programs down there. And we've got our ocean explorers out in Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, and then we've got all our Ottawa based in the Ottawa Valley area. So I hope that's helpful and that you enjoyed and I answered your questions. If you have any further questions, feel free to contact me or anyone on my team, and we are more than happy to help. This is a brand new platform, so there's always going to be a few little niggles here and there that we need to work out, and we require your help to make sure that we catch those things because we are such a small team. Thanks a lot. Bye.